You are about to listen to Only Fools and Collecting, a podcast for those who like a good moan about figure collecting and don't mind naughty words.
Hello, and welcome to yet another episode of Only Fools and Collecting. We are back after our very, very long Christmas break.
I know. Seems like forever.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? I think because we had some pre-recorded stuff.
Yeah,
it feels like ages since we were actually
I've been itching to get back into it, so that's good.
Chomping
yeah,
at the
definitely.
bit.
So happy New Year, everybody.
Yes, happy New Year and all that jazz. So we're going to start off like we do every single show with saying a big thank you to Mr. Watto and all the wonderful things he does. Sounds like the Wizard of Oz there. Yeah, he does 6-scale sculpts. He does sculpts of Black Series. He does Kenner vehicle parts. Anything you want doing, he can do it. Weapons. He's got a massive list of stuff. So if there's anything on that list that you don't see that you really want, he can do it for you. So worth dropping him a line.
Good man to work with. Yep.
Yeah, very reasonable. Very, very reasonable. So Pete, regale us with the treasure trove of stuff you've got.
I feel like, I don't know, I feel a bit awkward talking about all this stuff. It's like I'm kind of like just rolling in the cash, but it's just one of those things. So the Batwing was my Christmas present from my other half and my mum and dad. We talked about it before. That was cool. It took a couple of days to build. It wasn't like the Falcon or even the Lego Batman build. It was quite an easy build, but quite a good fun. And that's up on the wall now, so that's quite cool. It's just got a little like one of those mounts, so you put the screw in, then you just slide it down onto it.
Oh yeah, like you hang a clock.
Yeah, and it's completely solid. It's good. So it's a bit tricky because you've got to kind of take the seat out and then put it on and then put the bits back in. But it's designed so they only fit on a couple of pegs. So that's cool. Right, and then where should we start with these? So
wherever you want, dealer's choice, mate.
Yeah, DeLorean. No, actually, I'll start with Luke because there's a story behind it. So I've been after a Hoth Luke for a really long time because I've got a Hoth Han, and I got the Tauntaun a few months ago. So I really wanted a Luke, and they're quite hard to come by. I don't know. I think they're probably fairly low issue now. It's a sideshow figure, and on eBay they can go anywhere from sort of $250 to $350, and I'm like, there's no way that figure is worth that sort of money. Like we said that earlier, especially with the sculpts it comes with. There's one inside the helmet fixed, and there's a standalone. The standalone's absolute garbage anyway. You wouldn't use that. But I think the gear is quite good. So I was I forget what I was chatting to some guy, and he said, "Oh, I've got oh, that's right. So I bought the shirt from the Hoth Han because I'd got the jacket, but I hadn't managed to track down because stupidly years ago, I think I sold them. I might have sold. Did I sell them to you? I sold them to some. No,
because I took mine off of my Hoth Han I bought.
Oh, okay. You actually had it. Yeah. So stupidly at the time, I didn't want a Bespin hand, so I sold the jacket and the shirt. I managed to get a jacket, but guy was selling the shirt, so I was like, yeah, have the shirt. And he's like, oh well, I've actually got like loads of other bits, hand bits, and all the stuff for Luke, apart from the standalone head sculpt, don't want, and the body, don't want. So so we say hello to our friends Danny Lee, Ryan Smith, and Chill with the Lil. Very nice. So he said, "Oh, I'll do you those for like 80 quid." And I was like, "Oh man, fantastic! I've got a body. I'd already got. I picked up a one of the Return of the Jedi Hot Toys sculpts. So I was like, yeah, fantastic." So then he started saying, "Oh well, I'm kind of getting out of the game, and I sending some figures off. So he said, "Oh, I've got a Marty McFly," and I'm like, "Well, I owned the part 2 one, which I sold. I did sell to you." And I was like, "Well," I said, "I'm not sure because if I buy Marty, then I've got to have I need a DeLorean." And there's no mention of a DeLorean at the time. And we started sort of talking about the price. And first he was like $250 for Martin. I was like, "No, I'm not interested at all." And then very quickly we got down to about 160 quid. And I'm like, "Oh, fuck it, I've got to have him because even if I just sell it straight on, I make 50 quid. I make 50 quid." So, and then so that all got posted off to me apparently just about a week before Christmas.
Yeah.
And then in the meantime, he's like, "Oh, by the way, I've got a DeLorean. I'm going to sell that." And I was like, "Oh no, why couldn't you fucking said that to start with?" Because I could have picked it all up together. So anyway, so we talked about the DeLorean, got that for a crazy price. So I'm like, right, well, I'm going to go and get that then. And because Marty's coming, blah, blah, blah. So I picked that up. And then, as you know, the figure and the bits never turned up. And then, so I'm like, "Oh, bollocks." So I've then gone and ordered another Marty and another Luke, although the Luke I got for a fairly decent price from America. Still waiting for that. And then he's like, "Oh, well, he what happened is he didn't whatever happened. I don't know. We discussed it a lot, didn't we? But there was no tracking number. He never provided a tracking number. So I said to him, like, "You're not going to get your money back." And I asked for my money back for the Marty and the bits. "Hi Eddie, Happy New Year to you." So he's like, "Oh, I haven't got the money to pay you back, but I'll do you a really good deal on the Batmobile." And I'm like, "Oh, fucking hell. This man's just taking money out of my pocket."
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Well," and I have always wanted one, but I'd never pay what they go for. Yeah. And so then we started like, okay, blah, 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 blah. In the end, I think we settled on, I think I gave him another 300 quid. So it was like just over 500 quid. And I'm thinking, oh, man. Again, even if I don't keep it, I'll pick it up. So I went and picked that up. And then literally that same day, he messaged me and said, "Oh, the Marty and the Hoth bits have been returned to sender. Do you still want them?" I'm like, "Yeah." So picked them up with the Batmobile. So I got all that back. And then, as I say, so it's kind of, and then he'd also, before a few days after I bought the Marty, when I didn't know it had gone missing, I bought the motorbike and sidecar as well. That never turned up. That got returned as well. Yeah. So, but not in time. So I basically said, "Look, I will arrange a courier and tell me what day them to pick it up." And then it finally worked out. So yeah, that just came in today. So I literally just set the
nice.
The motorbike
sidecar. Really good.
Yeah, it's got a load of mud and it's metal. And it's got some quite good sort of mud effects on everything. And I have sort of toyed with one. I didn't think I could fit it in, but it fits just nice. And it's quite good. But I mean, the DeLorean is fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. Love it. Brilliant.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Had some fun with Elf in the Shelf. The elf used the DeLorean to get back to the North Pole on Christmas Eve, which is cool.
Nice, yeah.
And I don't know, the Batmobile is it's massive. It's I don't know if you've seen one in hand. It's
not in hand, but I've seen photos of it next to stuff like the DeLorean and how much bigger it is.
I mean, like he brought this box out and he's like dragging it almost. And I'm like, fuck, how's that going to go in the car? And it's literally it's twice the size of it's like 2 DeLorean boxes put next to each other. It's over 1 meter long. But it's amazing. So I've got a bit of a storage problem at the moment, but the DeLorean's back in its box because I said that I didn't want it out until I got a Marty, and I haven't. So I have got the Marty, but I haven't got around to getting all that out yet. But so it's been brilliant. Really, I picked up some bits that I've never really had my eye on, but I think it was right place, right time, right price, and I just had to go for it. So
there's some situations like that where you can't, you're not going to get the opportunity again.
Yes,
so
exactly.
Just jump on it.
Yeah, because I was never going to pay like £1,000 for either of those.
No,
but
I mean, when when you look at how much the DeLorean goes for now on its own, it's ridiculous.
Yes.
I mean, I think I paid about 700 quid for mine. And I've had it ages.
You said about 4 years, didn't you? 3-4 years, something like that.
Yeah, about 3-4 years. And the ones I see online now are just, they're edging close to £1,000. And it's
easily. I've seen people saying, "Oh, I'm about to." Like other people before this, I said, "Oh, I'm about to sell my DeLorean and Marty. You interested? I'm looking for like 1,400 for the pair." And you're like, Jesus Christ. So I picked up like both these vehicles for not a lot more than they go for separately. So yeah, it's just one of those things. Like you get lucky sometimes.
Have you looked at getting a power adapter?
I have got one. I found one. So I've got the Batmobile just takes 3 AA's. So I've got one of those battery saver converter things. So that's all plugged in. And and I did find I've got a multi-plug one. And I looked up, you turn it, I think it's 4.5 volts, isn't it? For the it's got all the different adapters, so that should be fine.
What I liked about the DeLorean was they thought about it and they'd put a power bank into the bottom.
Because that was later
so
on.
Plug straight in.
They learnt from that, and I suppose like when you think about it, I think they've only done 4 vehicles, haven't they? There's these 2, and then there's the 2 tumblers. Is that right? I think they're the only ones they've done.
They did the Tron bike as well.
Oh yeah, very early on.
The Tron bike, and then you've got the Bat Pod.
Oh,
and
of course,
the helicopter-y thing. And then I guess it's not really, is it a vehicle? I wouldn't class it as a
the
vehicle.
1/12 scale one, the massive great.
You've got that. And then it's not so much a vehicle, but you've got one of the Sentinels from the Matrix.
Oh,
so they ventured into these larger bits, but I just don't think they do them that much anymore because of I think they do sell, but just not as, I think they could just pump out that figures and make more money.
That's why it's that Batmobile. It's just unmanageable, really, as a thing.
You've seen photos of people having them in Hong Kong, like shops. They've got them, but because of space is a real premium over there, you've got people using them as counters and stuff. They can't, to ship them. It's too expensive to go overseas, and they've got hardly any space there. That they just end up.
It's crazy, isn't it? And you're like, damn, if I could get one of those, because like they have them on Toys Wonderland, but then you look at like the shipping, and it's like 300 quid just for shipping, and you're like, fuck it hell.
They charge you like 300 quid just for a regular fucking figure to ship.
Exactly. So I'm made up. I've had a great 4 weeks really with the pickups I've had. So
you've done well. You've done well.
Very well.
Very well.
And how about yourself, mate?
Nowhere near as well. Nowhere near as well. So I've tried to be very, very good over the Christmas break, and it's not till today. It's not quite worked out. I mean, I noticed people have started getting their shipping stuff through from Sideshow for the deluxe version of the Mandalorian. So
because you ordered that, didn't you?
Yeah. I mean, I ordered the standard edition, so I should start to see that at some point.
Is the deluxe going out first? Then is that or?
Well, a few people have had deluxe notifications. It's coming into the warehouse, and then that's about it. None of the standards. But I went onto the online chat with Sideshow and asked and said, "Look, would it make any difference if I cancelled my, if I upgraded to the deluxe?"
Right. Okay.
She was like, "No." She said, "According to our records, we're meant to be getting the deluxe and standard in at the same time, so it really wouldn't make any difference."
No reason why not. It's all it's got is less parts, so there's nothing different in it.
No. So I was like, okay, fair enough. I won't worry. And then today, so I'm working at home and I'm thinking to myself, I quite like my Dark Knight collection. And it was only after Steve pointed out how tiny the DX12 was.
Yeah, because we talked about it and you were like, oh no, I think I'll probably be all right with it. But
and then that's all I can see. And then so I've started to go back and repaint my Django, because I've got a Django Fett on order with Sideshow. And the idea is that with the Sideshow one, I can use it to display the other head sculpt and stuff like that. And I thought, well, actually, the DX12, I can stick a new body on it, and then if I fuck up the suit getting it off, it's no big deal because I've got another one coming.
Yeah.
And then I've got something where actually I can display the second head sculpt.
Yeah.
Without having to just have it on a little stand. I can have,
that'd be cool.
I can use it. I can mix and match the bits out of the two. And I had some reward points from the Mandalorian, so it didn't cost me hardly anything to put the deposit down on it. And it's not out for lucky 2 years. It's at 2022.
Yeah. You have the cash. Yeah.
January through to about June next year, it's effectively going to be one thing after another coming. I think the only thing I've got on pre-order for this year is Rex and Mando. That's it. Yeah. That's the plan with those. But I was on eBay, and I'll start with the Trooper first. So I was just flicking through the groups, and someone was selling a 501st Clone Trooper for 130 quid, and I was like, I like the 501st Troopers, and I never ever see one that cheap. So I was like, right, fuck it. I had a bit of cash in my PayPal from a couple of commissions. I went, right, fine.
Yep.
Ordered that, and it's turned up. And so the sideshow bodies, as everyone knows, are very, very floppy. Yeah, it's a 10-year-old figure. It's going to be floppy. So I took all the armor off of it, put a load of joint juice in the joints, put some tape around some of the other joints, put it all back together. So it's now quite sturdy. Because I was thinking about body swapping it with another Mandalorian body or a Trooper body. But the problem is, when you take all the armor off, the waist on these is so skinny that it's a bit like, I think you would have to be dremeling
to get the belt and stuff and the armor to fit. Yeah.
I mean, when I took my old Boba Fett body and stuck it on my Jango Fett, literally I was sitting there with a Dremel with the forearms just so they were like needles by the end of it, just to get it in. And I was But to be fair, another option is just to get the 2 bits of armor, use some filler or something, create that middle section, because actually it doesn't move. Like there's no articulation there because of the armor. So I got that and fixed the body up a bit, and then painted up one of the Rex sculpts the Watto has kindly provided. So that's on that, because the idea is, like I said before, I want the live action version and then a clone alternative.
Presumably this doesn't actually come with a head sculpt.
No, it just comes with the helmet. So I've got Rex on order, so that head will eventually go on a Rex. But to be fair, some of the other ones I've got. So this is another Rex one by Watto, an angry looking one. Okay. But there's no real reason why that has to be Rex, if you get what I mean. You can just make the hair a different colour.
Exactly. Yeah. They're all the same.
Yeah, exactly. So I've got options there. So I was well happy with that, because I think
in a way, I think the proportions of that body looks a lot more like an animated figure anyway. So I think it works really well with that head sculpt. It's got quite a short torso and the longer legs.
The armored stuff, if you're going to stick an animated sculpt on, they're the ones straight out of the box that you can do that with.
It looks really good.
Cloth ones, because of the body proportions, you've kind of got to you've got to tailor the clothes and change out bits. It's that waist again, the thing. But so that was that one. And then I was a bit bored, looked on eBay and saw a Mark 42 that was on bids. So I just chucked a bid in of 130 quid, not really expecting much from muchness. So I've already got a Mark 42 and I was planning to sell it anyway. So it was just a throwaway bid, and I ended up winning. And I was like, great.
What am I going to do with 2 of those? Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, the 42, and I'm in the minority here, is my favourite armour because it's so different. So I was waiting for this thing to turn up, and I thought, the price I've won it for, it's going to be a fixer-upper.
Yeah.
Well, fuck me, it turned up, and what the guy had done was got all the accessories, put them in a little bag, sellotaped it to the front of the box, and then wrapped the box up in bubble wrap.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, why can't you just put the accessories in the fucking box?
Yeah.
So I got them out thinking they're going to be scratched to shit, not a mark on them. I was like, oh, okay. Open the figure up, a little bit dusty, joints are tight as anything.
Mm-hmm.
There's no batteries in it. So I don't know if the light up works, but
but as you say, you never bother.
I don't really care about that. It's in better condition than my one. I was like, right, okay. So I'm going to keep this one. And then the irritating thing was I was taking photos of my one that I was going to sell, and I've stood it up, I've got to take a photo, and it's gone, poof, fallen over.
Shit.
Fuck. It's now got a scuff on top of the helmet, and I'm like, you bastard. But
So you've got to have that one on your one now, yeah.
Well, I don't know, you see, because I literally packed up all of my Marvel stuff just before Christmas and chucked it on top of the wardrobes and listed it all for sale. No one's even taken a sniff at it because, Marvel at the moment, no one really cares.
No.
I have a feeling after tomorrow with WandaVision,
you might. Yeah, I think
bit of a comeback. But I was looking at some of it in the box, and I was going to sell my Deadpool. Well, Deadpool's back in the display case. I thought,
right,
why?
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah, because Dylan just sold a concept cap, didn't he? That went quite quickly. I know it's a US market, obviously, but so there's obviously people still buying the stuff.
Yeah, to me, the concept cap's the best cap.
Yeah, I know you really
you
like
don't
him,
have to fuck about bastardizing the Man of Steel.
Yeah.
There's a guy that for months and months, all he was doing was Captain America's, and he was buying up every single fucking Man of Steel, and he kept doing it. And I hate that mod because it looks like the torso's like really stretched.
Yeah.
And he got the right ump with me because every post he would put, regardless of what it was, I put, Man of Steel body swap.
Yeah, it's like
the right ump with it. The
Princess
right
Leia or something. That needs a Man of Steel body swap.
Yes, it's the Man of Steel. It'd be fine.
Eddie bought Dylan's cap.
He bought it.
Yeah,
nice I love it. I honestly think it's the best Captain America. My only gripe is that I really wish that they shoved in like the Infinity War sculpt. That when that's on there, it looks really good.
Yeah. It doesn't come with just the masked sculpt, isn't it?
Yeah, but and the weird thing is, he's really pale, like really pale. Like the fucker hasn't seen sunlight in years by the looks of it. It's really strange. I can't.
It's because he's been wearing his Corona mask, so like that bit of his face hasn't had seen the sun for the best part of a year.
He's had his face mask on for too long.
Yeah.
But so now I'm thinking, stick with my guns and actually just sell off the Marvel stuff and just sell both the Mark 42s off.
Well, you should get your money back on that one anyway.
I should fucking hope so. 130 quid.
I know.
Even with 12 quid postage.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The thing is, I'm that out of touch with Marvel stuff. I just haven't got a clue what stuff goes for. So I need to sit down and actually have a proper look. And to be honest, I tend to find I get more luck with eBay than I do with the groups now.
Yeah.
So I think at the weekend I might just sit and stick it all on eBay.
They did do a pound selling thing. I expect they'll be doing another one soon because I think they're normally. I think they didn't do them over Christmas, obviously, but most of the time they're every couple of weeks. So you get a pound selling fee one.
Because it's all changed now. So they just take the fees directly off you when they pay.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is a lot better.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Randomly getting an eBay invoice,
and you're like, oh shit, yeah. What's that from? Can you pull up Ryan's comment there about his deluxe? Still waiting for my deluxe.
Oh, I thought you meant the one about the terrible rash. Where's
what? That? About 7 up from the bottom. Just interesting because obviously he's obviously ordered that from Asia, and obviously the EMS is still suspended. So I think the only option you have is to pony up like 60 quid for DHL or FedEx, or just wait it out at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah,
which is a bit of a bugger. Because Steve had a load of stuff, didn't he? But all he's got through, I think, before it got shut down, or before Brexit as well. But yeah, I'm kind of glad I've not got anything sitting about waiting to come over at the moment, because it can be a bit
Well, I think
get
the whole,
anxious.
because we're now no longer part of Europe, that's thrown a spanner in the works, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Particularly, like I said, like my printer's knackered, and the part I think I need, I can only get stateside, and they won't ship it out for anything less than 100. Well, they won't let you place an order if you're in the UK for anything less than 135 quid.
Okay.
So
And there's shipping on top of that as well.
There would be shipping on top of that.
Yeah,
the part's only 15 quid, so I would have to literally almost buy a whole nother printer just to get the bit that I'm not even sure if it is that.
No, that's the problem. Yeah. So,
bit of shit.
Yeah, but, like you said, I think I've got the only pre-orders I've got are I don't know if they're coming out this year or not. I think that Mando Scout Troopers definitely due out this year. Not quite sure when.
Beginning part of this year, I think.
Yeah. Then I've got Lando.
You want to move that on, aren't you?
Yeah, well, you said you might be interested, didn't you? So I will be moving.
Pre-orders coming all at once. Yeah,
I will be. I'll definitely be moving it on. So yeah, I'll come to you first. Give you first refusal on it. Got Hot Toys Lando, and that the Snowspeeder Luke.
I really want the Lando Skiff Guard.
I know, it does look really good, doesn't it, with the helmeted sculpt? Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, I think it's the paint app on the unhelmeted one.
Yeah,
that's throwing it off.
Yeah, I don't mind it. It's quite angular, isn't it? But
yeah,
I think it's okay. Yeah, I did look at them, but I'm not paying. Like, I think it's 185 quid on Sideshow, plus obviously your shipping and your customs and stuff. So you're looking at what, 230 to 40 maybe.
Shipping's normally about 30 odd quid, and then post. Yeah, so
234.
You're probably looking at another 60, 70 quid on top.
Yeah, that's too much. It's not bad, but it's still a Sideshow figure. And but yeah, what I've seen of it, I think it's all right actually.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So we're into.
So we've had some interesting new releases, to say the least. So first up is the Mark 85 Hot Toys, and this is 310 quid at the moment. For the first release, which is the first head sculpt version, which has caused a lot of shenanigans, shall we say?
Yeah, group shenanigans.
What do you reckon, Pete?
So I think what we've got on the left is what was shown in the promo shots, which I think is basically the Mark 50 sculpt, and then on the right is what came through. And like as we were saying before the show, I think that top shot looks pretty bad on the right, but I think it's obviously a mobile phone shot, so it's kind of properly elongated his spam and his hair. But I think I don't mind it. I think they've gone for like a more, because obviously he'd spent all that time on the spaceship, hadn't he? And he was very thin and gaunt. He did put some weight back on, but I think they've gone for that kind of like drawn out kind of.
So as far as I'm aware, anyone who's almost starved to death is always slightly on the skinny side, regardless of how many years it is after.
Yeah, I know. So
I get the gaunt, older looking face.
Yes.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not a massive fan of the quiff, but
no,
I've always found the hair a little everyone's bit. Making out.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of. I don't think they've ever nailed the hair, and it's obviously changed quite a lot film to film. But yeah, so obviously a lot of people have complained about the head sculpt they actually got, and Hot Toys has taken a bit of a kind of roasting over it, and I think they've agreed to swap it out, haven't they? But we're not sure. We assume they're just going to give them the Mark 50 sculpt that is the one on the left, I think. So
I mean, the Mark 50 sculpt, the one on the left. Yeah. If you look at the bottom picture, it's like Mexican Tony style.
Yeah.
I'd be more offended getting that particular sculpt than I would.
Yeah, it looks better in the top one, but that one, the bottom one on the left, doesn't do it for me at all.
Yeah, I just think. I don't think it's a bad sculpt. I think it looks okay. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. I've seen worse. I mean, fuck me. If we let him get away with Ant-Man, then why is this a deal breaker?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this has not got cheesy teeth on the show.
And all the abuse the fucking artist got for it.
Yeah.
Turn his Instagram off. You just think,
I know. Yeah, it was
it's a 12-inch toy.
Yeah, there was some quite funny stuff that came out from Hot Toys. And that. There was the best one was that and I don't know if they were they joke. Were they actually from Hot Toys, or were they like people doing joke report? Because there was the best one was said something about, have you ever wondered what that tiny little pocket on your jeans is for? And then it said, that's how many fucks Hot Toys give about you hated on this sculpt.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a joke one. I like that.
That was brilliant, that one. That one made me laugh, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, and they've got one more crack at this, haven't they? Because they've got the Battle Damage Mark 85 will be their last of the kind of like of the end game stuff for Tony. And again, people say, "Oh, that sculpt looks better," but you may not get what you think you're getting. Same with this. So why would it be a different sculpt to this one? It's just going to have a bit of battle damage on it, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, looking at all the hate that this got, I'd be amazed if it was the same as this. It'd probably be whatever sculpt they decide to give you instead.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's. I think you look at it and you know who it is.
Yeah,
it's not like you're looking at it and you have no idea that that's Robert Downey Jr.
No, and I don't think any of them have been perfect. To be honest, I've definitely preferred some to others, but I don't think they've actually
nothing about space magic.
I don't think any of them have ever been 100% dead on. That nailed. So yeah,
like I said, I just think to me that the level of response this got is just so disproportionate when you look at that horrendous smiling Ant-Man.
Yeah,
if you told me people kicked off the way they did about this, that they did that smiling Paul Rudd Ant-Man, I'd be like, okay, I get why people were pissed off about that. But if you show me this and go and explained everything that's gone on, I'd be like,
yeah,
what?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's probably just indicative of the fact that this is Iron Man. This is the main man.
Yeah.
Ant-Man is very much a kind of, a secondary character, and most people probably not going to have him in their Marvel collection unless they've got a really long, a long line on there. But
so Ryan says he heard the artist who was making the 85 left the company, so they were forced to change it.
Okay,
didn't surprise me, to be fair. But yeah, so that was. I mean, to be fair, I like the 85 armor, so
yeah,
I don't think I'd ever display it with the Tony Stark head anyhow.
No, it's. I mean, obviously with the battle damage, you would be more likely to if you're trying to recreate, obviously,
but in that case, like you might as well, if you're going to have it with the gauntlet and the clicking hands, that you might as well just buy a statue.
Yeah,
if you're going to have it in that one iconic pose, you could buy like an Iron Studio statue or something, and it would do just as good.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, and then there was this one, the Heavy Mando, on Sideshow. This is 214 quid, due out from now to Feb, so any time now. But it's already out in Hong Kong, and it will set you back 360 quid. Now that's a website I saw it on. I saw a guy selling this on Facebook, a very well-known Facebook seller, 450 quid.
Yes.
And when people were calling him out on it, yeah, exactly. When people calling him out on it, you had these arse wipes jumping on, going, "Oh well, people just don't understand how these day one pre-orders work. He has to pay someone to queue up and that. Yeah, we get that, but 350 is kind of the inflated price.
Yeah, exactly.
450.
This is only like probably 150, 160 quid if you go and buy it.
As far as I'm concerned, it's perfectly acceptable for something to be 100 to 150 pound more if you're going to go day one, because of all the effort that's involved.
But not 250, 300 pound more.
Not almost doubling the price. Yeah. It's just like, and particularly like, don't get me wrong, it's an okay figure. It's not something that I think I think this is going to be something to be quite readily available in the years to come. Because out of the whole Mando line, this is probably the one thing that actually you'll get it. It may look great, but there's not really a great deal you can do with it because apparently the articulation's gash.
Okay, yeah, and it's not really a very fleshed out character.
No.
So it looks cool, and he's a big guy, but I think. But the trouble is, Ian, you know that someone will pay that, or close to that, and that's the problem we've got is that you see these ridiculous prices. And the next minute, sold, and you're like, "Oh, I mean, that's the problem." Is that
the issue is we've got so many new people joining the hobby that just think that that's the price. Yeah, so they buy it, and then when they go to sell it on, they expect to get $450, at least $450 back.
Yeah,
and it just. I
think if I was looking to start in this hobby now, I just wouldn't. I'd fall at the first hurdle because I wouldn't even dream of paying that sort of money for figures.
I'd probably have a few and then go, well, that was nice, but they're too expensive and I'm not going to bother.
No.
The only reason I pretty much stay in the hobby is because I've managed to kind of stay in by making it self-funding.
Yeah, that's the same with me.
And that's pretty much a lie. I tell myself to keep buying stuff because I'm always adding money to it. Anyway.
I know. It was fairly true for me until those two vehicles came along. There wasn't really enough. There wasn't enough in the pot to. I did sell a Sand Trooper. That was quite a hard sell decision, but then I had two of them. So, but yeah, I tried to make it self-funding, and most of the time it works, but
it never works for me. I'm always like, it sits in my PayPal for like 5 minutes, and then I just spend it on something.
I know, and they keep emailing you. You've got money in your PayPal account. You must spend it, sir.
Exactly. No. You do realise you haven't forgotten that. I know. I fucking know. And then we had the Hot Toys Spider-Man Mark IV, £180 on through Chinese sellers, and £195 Sideshow. April to June. If you go through Sideshow, but it's obviously out now if you go down the Chinese route. Yeah. 180 quid ain't bad, to be fair.
No.
It's not my cup of tea. I'm not a big fan of having to shine ultraviolet light at everything.
No.
It's some kind of spunky mattress.
Does it glow like that in the game?
Yes. Yeah, it's one of the power-ups you get. Yeah. It's an unlockable suit. I liked what they did with Black Panther with it, but I'm never that impressed by light-up features. And
well, no, exactly, and it's quite an undertaking to kind of set that sort of thing up just for that one figure. And you presumably could have to have it on its own, because if you had it in a lit cabinet, then you wouldn't have the effect. It would wash it out. So it's a bit gimmicky. I mean, if you really like the suit and you like the look, and you're not buying it for that gimmick, then if you're big into
Spider-Man, then fill your boots. But for me, it's just, this isn't what I think of when I look at it. It's close. It's very close to what I think of when I look at Spider-Man.
Which we'll get to in a minute. Yeah. But this is like the super sort of shiny version.
Yeah.
He's oiled up.
Yeah, the greased up one. Touching all the candy. It just looks like it's greased up deaf guy. That's what we should call this one.
Yeah.
Not for me, I don't think.
No. And as I say, the prayers have been answered anyway. It's close, but it's not quite there. But
close, but no cigar for me. And then, we had 3 new releases. And we got a shit ton of upcoming releases. So it seemed that figure companies were very, very busy over the last 2 weeks. So Hot Toys jumped straight in with Johnny Silverhand. It just sounds like a wanking euphemism. But
what else would you use that arm for? Surely it's a robotic self-pleasuring device.
Did you ever watch the Family Guy Star Wars stuff?
Oh, did. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah.
As soon as I saw that hand, it reminded me of the bit where Chris gets the robotic hand at the end.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Empire, and the Doctor just goes to him. Practice on some cocktail sausages before you do anything, because you'll rip it straight off.
Yeah, there you go. That's what that is right there.
But yeah, this is 245 quid out Q1, Q2, or you go down the sideshow route, 220 April to June.
Seems like an odd one to me. I mean, obviously it's quite topical because only today the guy of the company that developed this came out and made a public apology, didn't he, about how shit it was when it was released, and that they shouldn't have released it like that, and how embarrassed he was.
I kind of got the impression that they were rushed to release it. So the PC version apparently is okay.
Right, okay.
There's a version that they haven't released for the new PlayStation, new Xbox. And it's almost like those three are the main versions, and they've kind of backward ported it to go on last gen. But looking at some of the videos, it just looks horrendous.
Yeah, yeah. And all I kept seeing was people like naked avatars, because you create your own character, and all they're worrying about is,
dick size and stuff,
what kind of paint to put on it, and pervy men being teenage girls and stuff in it, and that's basically what everyone was posting on Facebook. I was like, okay,
there's definitely a few Grande fans on there.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah,
but yeah, I don't. To me, I haven't played the game, and it just seems like a weird.
I don't know who they think they're going to sell these to.
I think when you look at the amount of merchandise available for this game, and the promises they made before the game was released, I think the expectation was that this was going to be like the game to play, game of the generation. Everyone's going to love it. It's not quite worked out like that. So
no, and Hot Toys, mate, that may well be one of those ones. Although, is it actually up for pre-order?
Yeah.
So it is going to come out, but I think they're going to regret this one.
This is probably the new. So this will end up being like the Crow or Tonto
Mandarin.
The Mandarin. It'll be like that. It will be like that.
Picking them up for £100 and just using them for fodder.
Yeah. I can't see people unless they manage to fix the game, release it on the next gen consoles, and it'd be absolutely fucking amazing. Just can't see it happening. I can't see this.
Just an odd one, isn't it? I mean, I get because it's Keanu Reeves, but you can't imagine they're going to bring any other figures out from this game, even if it goes massive.
They're fucked. You can't. But it's same. That's why you don't see Fallout figures. Yeah, because you create your avatar, so you'll get. That's why you end up getting figures of like the popular side characters.
Yeah, so he's the only one.
All the armored stuff. Yeah, like you make your own person, so it's really hard.
And it's that same thing that we talk about all the time. It's even if you love it, it's a one-off figure. You're not going to have anyone to display it with, and ultimately that kind of gets into your head, and you end up like selling these things on because they don't fit with anything else in your collection.
If you're a Keanu Reeves super fan and you've got shelves of Keanu Reeves figures, lots of his pubes stapled to
you've got to have it.
But for the rest of us, it's just going to stand out too much. It just won't make sense.
No.
Eventually, we'll find something we do like this.
I think we like the next few.
Yeah. So this is the Hot Toys Transport Trooper. Out Q1, Q2 in China at 189 quid, or on Sideshow January to March 2022, and is £167.64.
Bargain.
For 170 quid, sign me up all day long.
Yeah. I think it's quite a cool look.
Don't get me wrong, in 2 years' time, I probably won't give a shit, but
no,
for that price, I like it. I think it's pretty good, and I think it would be pretty easy to get hold of an unmasked head sculpt.
Yeah, I think that would be the look. I think because you're kind of quite keen on getting together a Mandalorian display now, aren't you? And I think that would be brilliant. You get has Watto done one?
Yes.
Yeah. That would be a really good look for that, because that's a great episode, and I think that for that sort of money. It's 200 quid with the sculpts, whatever. Yeah, it's I like that one. It's bare bones, but
I don't know what else they could really give you.
No,
unless they had it as a Din Djarin figure.
Yeah, a lot of people saying they should have made it the other guy, giving you a sculpt of that, whatever his name was. I forget what his name was.
Oh, yes, Bill. Bill, help us out in the chat. Bill. I want to say Bill Bailey, but that's not it. It's Bill Burr.
No, he won Strictly, mate.
He did, yeah. Bill Burr.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
yeah, that would be really good.
Yeah, but again, I think you know you can get one of those made or whatever if you want. So I like it. It's quite a cool look. Something a bit different.
Options. Yeah, no, I like that one. And while we're on the Hot Toys wagon, we got the Shore Trooper.
Yeah.
Or so 189 quid again. No, sorry. The Squad Leader.
Yeah.
£217 in China out Q1 to Q2 2022. Or 175 quid on Sideshow out January to March 2022. Mm-hmm. So I know which one of those prices I would rather go for, even with shipping and tax. Mayfield. There we go. That's it. Thank you, Eddie Mayfield. I quite like this. I think this is pretty cool.
Yeah, I've always liked. I mean, as we know, it all went batshit crazy with the original Shore Trooper. Yeah, he's got them. Yeah,
he's got it. He's got it, Bill Ed.
Of course he has. He had it 2 seconds after the episode aired.
Please, he had it as soon as the credits were running.
He did. I've always liked the Shore Trooper, but I mean, I didn't feel I wasn't into collecting the Rogue One stuff, so it wasn't something that, again, if I pick one up, I'd enjoy it for a while, and I'd be like, "There's nothing for it to go with." So this is good for those people that have been looking for one and don't want to pay. I mean, they were going for like 500 quid at some point, weren't they?
And when you actually look at the figure itself, there's a large amount of cloth. There's a small bit of armor. If I'm honest, now I own a 3D printer. I look at stuff like this and I go, okay, trousers, top, shin guards are printable. Elbow, most of that to me looks printable. So it's kind of like no one needs to spend 500 quid on that.
No
one.
So it's good, and it's good that again that they've brought it out as a slightly different version, so they're not sort of crapping on the people that did buy the original either for retail or for extortionate price.
They've learned from their third party brethren. Just change it slightly. Change the name.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously we're going to the next one, which is the Mando one. So I think it's weird. It's weird in a way that they've gone back to a Rogue One, but then it's a no-brainer because obviously they're going to churn out the Mando version. So why not get an extra figure out of it? Which is good in a way because it means that the Rogue One line is not dead, and it still holds hope that they might bring out a Rogue One Tarkin.
I think if they're making a figure and it's just a bit of paint, means that you can turn it into a different license, so to speak. They do it all day long.
Yeah.
As soon as they have to add anything or take something away from it, they won't bother.
Well, Tarkin, you don't have to do anything. You don't even have to put the chair in.
No, but what I mean is on new releases, I don't think they're going to go back and redo what they've already done. But if they're going, if you look at Mandalorian, that's super hot at the moment. If they're already pumping out a load of these for the Mandalorian,
exactly. As whoever look,
So all they've done with the arm. So this is the Shore Trooper, right? This is the Mandalorian Shore Trooper.
Still calling him a Shore Trooper, even though they weren't on the beach. They weren't on the beach.
Yep, they're still calling him a Shore Trooper. This is exactly the same price, exactly the same time scale. Now, all they've done with this is they haven't carried on with the paintwork. They base coated it all. So this is what I mean. All they have to do is actually, what they've got a shit ton of them is go, if we do a little bit more paint on this, we've got that as a whole separate figure.
And give him a skirt and a different belt,
if we box this up halfway through the process...
Yeah, we all knew they'd bring a Mando version out. That was a no-brainer. But it was interesting to see that they thought they'd, obviously take the opportunity to squeeze another version out. So,
well, that's why I think if the Sand Troopers looked exactly the same as the New Hope ones, we would have got both versions. but because they were that much different, we didn't.
Yeah. No.
I think that's what we're going to start to see.
Yeah.
And then Elvin or 11 or whatever you want to call
11,
them.
yeah, whatever
11. They were previewing their Billy Butcher, which I think is infinitely better than the So-So ones.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not a fan of the smiling face, but the one on the floor is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I like the way they all come with a baby that's going to be shooting lasers from the side.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's the ultimate accessory, that is a laser shooting baby.
Yeah.
The baby Luke didn't do that, did it?
No, sat there all swaddled, did fuck all. They previewed this, and I'm really liking it, and I think they've shown off a few more as well. I'm hoping we don't wait too long for any of these. And
didn't they? I think on Collecting Weekly, they said that So-So had showed some images of the Homelander outfit that was looking pretty good. Because there was that abysmal one, wasn't there? That
I almost put that on the show sheet. There was that. I can't remember who made it.
Bad. He was a thick boy, and
it just looks like he'd stuffed a pillow down his top.
Yeah,
like it was just bumpy and horrible, and no, thank you.
And the really fat.
It was like Homelander was wearing a fat suit.
Yeah, it was really bad. There wasn't anything really that you'd gone, I could work with that, I could do that. But I think the So-So one again should be so Ryan's just would be an infinitely better figure than that, I think.
100%. But for the meantime, this is probably the best Billy I've seen.
I think Steve's swapping over from the So-So to this one, isn't he?
Yeah. And then, and now this I'm very, very interested in. It's a Sideshow have chucked up a post saying that they're going to do the Clint Eastwood Legacy Collection. So this is a mixture of statues, 6-scale figures. Give me a Dirty Harry any day of the week. I don't give a shit if it doesn't fit in with anything. I'll make it fit. If we get that, a Blondie, I've just got to remind myself that it is Sideshow. Bear in mind it's Sideshow, so what they show me and what I get are going to be two very different things. But I'm quite.
It's interesting who they'd say. You've named a couple. Maybe a William Money. Who else would we want to see on there? Not really. Not a. I'll go with a from left field. The guy from. What's it called?
Gran Torino.
No, I was thinking. What's Firefox?
No, I've never seen it.
You never seen it? Where he steals like a Russian stealth plane.
No, never seen it.
No, there's nothing unique about the character, so it's unlikely.
There is this one. It's one of these films that I remember it really vividly. But you know, when you think, is that an actual film of his, or am I just making it up? They have this massive fuck off gun, and they're pulling some kind of heist. It's like a big artillery gun or something they're sitting in.
Right.
There's a few of them. It's like an ensemble one, but I'll have to figure it out. But I'm really looking forward to this.
It'd be interesting to see what they come out with that on there.
I think on the statue side, they're probably going to do better than the figures. Just because Sideshow generally their statues are better than the figures.
Yeah, definitely,
So
we've got next. We've got another sneak
Sideshow
announcement.
With the Dude. So this could be very interesting. Again, I don't quite know what I would put him with, but I do like the Dude.
It'd be nice if they did, like, if you had him, and then you maybe had John Goodman in his camo with the shorts, and then you had either is it Jesus, or Steve Buscemi in it. Yeah, so I mean, you could have some really good characters if they did 3 or 4, but as I say, if they only do the Dude, it's a bit like, well, what does he fit in with? And
that's what makes me think it is just the Dude, because they the Dude,
rather than the Big Lebowski.
I mean,
if they just did the John Goodman, that would look really good. Those two together,
for sure. So Sideshow.
Although they'd have to develop a new body for that, wouldn't they?
Nah, just nick that fat fuck.
Yeah,
Did,
yeah. On the
that
Homelander one,
party one. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, nick that one.
So they're just teasers. We don't know much about them, but it's interesting that they're sort of branching out on.
Yeah,
some
it'd be
stuff.
good to see if it actually happens. And then Hot Toys announced they were going to reissue the Mark V, £275 on Sideshow, out April to June. I couldn't find any of the China sellers having it. I don't 275 figure I wasn't really that fucking bothered about in the first place.
No, is this its first iteration in diecast though?
No.
Oh, they've already done a diecast, so it is a straight reissue. Yeah. And again, they were commanding stupid prices at one point, weren't they? 500-600 quid. So Hot Toys has just gone. Yeah, we'll have some of that then.
I can't blame them. I'd be doing exactly the same thing.
No, exactly.
While times are slim and their main cash cow, which was Marvel, aren't really pumping anything out.
No, definitely. No.
I'd be sitting there going, let's look at the secondary market.
Yeah.
What are arseholes pumping out?
Yeah, exactly.
Going, right, those twats are charging 600, 700, 800 quid for that. We've got the molds for them. Let's fucking put some more.
Yeah. No, definitely.
So,
which is good. And you get people upset. Well, if you're mug enough to pay that much for a figure anyway, then I haven't really got any sympathy for you.
The thing I'd point out
is it's not worth it.
Where does it say it's limited?
Yeah.
This is a collectible figure.
No.
Right. I can collect earwax. Doesn't mean that there's only like 5 pieces in the world.
No.
So I just think, if you want to collect limited stuff and you don't want them to be remaking shit, go buy some statues.
Well, statues, isn't it? They're the only ones that really give you like a numbered. Yeah. I think the only one Hot Toys might have done that on was that Godfather one way back. Even it was some sort of special charity kind of thing, wasn't it? Or
if it's numbered, fine.
Yeah.
If it's numbered and all they're doing is saying there's 100 of these and they're all numbered and they're only going to make 100, that's them making that promise to you that there is only 100.
Yeah. But they don't number them, do they? And they
no, none of my Hot Toys boxes say limited. None of them have a number on. None of them, as far as I'm concerned, they can sell as many of them as they want. If dickheads are paying 600-700 quid and then get the arse ache that 2 weeks later, they're reissuing them, I don't give a shit. I don't care. Like, deal with it.
No, and I've got no interest in these elitist people that want these things to be limited. I've got this and I've got that, and you can't have it. You can't afford it. Fuck off. Why? Why can't everybody, enjoy the game? It's not. I find that ridiculous.
Yeah, I just think people get very, very confused with the word collectible and limited.
Yeah,
they think they mean the same thing when they really don't.
No.
So that was another Iron Man that not overly care about. Now this
looks good.
I'm very tempted. This is the VTS Starship Trooper. This is the deluxe version, which is out April to June 2021. So this year, 200 quid for the deluxe, which comes with that awesome stand.
Yeah, definitely. Albeit undersized, but I mean, you couldn't have a full size bug. You can just say it's an infant bug. But yeah, it looks brilliant. I mean, I do really love the film. I think it's one of those films where when I first saw it, was it back in about 1990, something like that.
97 or something it came out.
Yeah, was it late? Yeah, it was 90s. Yeah, late 90s. Wasn't a massive fan to start with, but I think the more I've watched it, when you're a bit older, you appreciate all the kind of like the sort of political satire and stuff that's in it, and it's just a really cool film. There's good special effects, and it's quite funny. It's got quite tongue in cheek, and obviously is
bang on 97.
97, nice one, mate. As Zach said, there's a nice bit of naked ladies in it, but it's a really good film. It's a fun film.
It's weird because like they just suddenly there's tits.
Like, suddenly like, we've just got like co-ed showers. Yeah, some of that.
There's no real rhyme nor reason for it. It's just there.
But again, this is the man that made was it called Showgirls or something? So I think it almost felt like he had to have like some naked flesh in there.
He's not.
But
yeah,
I really like it. I think it's quite cool.
And the good thing is, if you bought this and then you bought a couple of, if you wanted to, you could buy a standard edition as well, and you could easily do another head sculpts.
Yeah, because there's people said, speculating whether or not they'll bring any other characters out. But as you say, you could just quite easily do a little squad build, and can always tap up your man Sean if you wanted one of the particular characters, or you're just happy to have them as sort of like, unknown grunts, if you like, because this face isn't that great for who it's representing, Rico. But I almost don't think that matters so much because it is really just like having the arm, having the figure. I would like one, but again, it would be one of those figures where he'd always be on the cusp of being on the chop, because if I didn't have anything to go with it, and all of a sudden something came up and I need some money, it's going to be, sorry, mate, you're going to go. But I think Steve's going to pick one up, and he's be interesting.
I never looked at this and went, "That's Rico." I was just, "That's true."
Yeah,
because of the way exactly. It looks. I think, like we said before, like if you've got things from that kind of 90s action era, you could get away with it. But again, it's such a cool piece. But just looking at my collection, I just don't know where I'd put it. It would look odd with everything.
Yeah, so I could maybe stick it in with RoboCop, because obviously it's all Paul Verhoeven, but again, it's a bit of a tenuous link. Yeah. And again, I think the sculpt looks stronger helmeted, as we see with a lot of even the Hot Toys stuff, like the Hot Toys Lukes and that, they lose quite a lot when you take the helmet off. So it looks okay with the helmet on, but it's not, obviously, it doesn't shout out as being Rico, does it?
No.
But no, it's good. It's good to see something kind of quite, unexpected and a bit different. Yeah. So here's the Spider-Man you've been looking for.
This is the Spider-Man I think of when I think of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So this is the Hot Toys Spider-Man classic suit. The Chinese sellers have it for around 217, out Q1 to Q2 2022. Or Sideshow has it for 198 quid at January to March 2022.
Which isn't bad, because you do get that massive, great diorama, don't you?
We don't know what it's made out of yet, though.
No, you think it's cardboard? Yeah, it could be. Yeah,
but I to me, this is when I think of Spider-Man. This is Spider-Man.
Yeah,
It looks like he does in the comics. It looks like he does in the cartoon. People are getting a little bit funny about the head. Let's just put it this way: there's some people that put out videos every second on absolutely fucking everything, and they seem to have a problem with this head and the webbing being
just that it was too raised. Yeah.
If I'm honest, I think they were just filling their quota for the hour. They had to put something out, so they just bitched about it. But to me, this is brilliant. Like this is, in fact, I think Ryan has just taken the words out of my mouth. This is the Spider-Man to reminds me of the 90s cartoon. Yeah, and that's why I like it.
Is it enough to pull you back into Marvel, Ian? No,
it could be.
That's the problem, isn't it? Because I'm like, I'd love one of these just as a standalone. But then,
if I'm honest, what I have been looking at that I really like is some of the Sideshow comic stuff. So their Wolverine, they've got their Cyclops. They just announced the Gambit. You could have those series of X-Men, and you could have this standing next to it, and it wouldn't look out.
Yeah.
I'm not. I've kind of the film stuff. I'm just not that bothered with anymore.
No.
I mean, like I said, I've got Deadpool back out because I really like Deadpool. Other than that, everything else is still in boxes up above the wardrobes, apart from the Iron Man, because I'm too fucking lazy to pack them away. But this is
it is a nice looking figure. I'd be very tempted to. When's he due out? A couple of years.
2022 January to March. This time next year. So it's a whole year away.
Yeah, but here's a figure that you could have on his own. I know we keep talking about, but if I have him like on the top of the cabinet, kind of swinging down or something, you could get away with it.
Yeah. You probably got more flexibility with some, if you'll forgive the pun, more flexibility with something like this than you have, than you probably have like the Rico.
Yeah, and I don't think, although Spider-Man has sort of been brought into the Avengers, I don't see him as he's always a standalone hero to me. So whereas some of the others, you start thinking, oh, I've got to have, if I've got Iron Man, I've got to have Cap, and I've got to have Thor. With Spider-Man, you can just have Spider-Man and enjoy him for.
I always find
that, so.
Spider-Man's really good at tying together those other kind of tertiary Marvel characters.
Yeah.
You could have Spider-Man and Deadpool in the same shelf.
Oh yeah, definitely,
absolutely fine. But if you then put like Captain America and Deadpool together, it just looks a bit odd and
doesn't work. Yeah,
no. So yeah, I like this. I like this a lot.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, and then this came out of nowhere. So Medicom are reissuing their Akira figures, so you get the actual fella, which I can't pronounce his name, Kenda, I think his name is.
Kaneda, I think,
Kaneda, that's it.
Kaneda.
Sounds like someone saying Canada with a speech impediment. So on Sideshow, these are two. So just for the fella, 228 quid out July to September 2021. So this year, or the Chinese sellers have it for 180 quid out Q2 2021. So just around the corner, really. Massive price difference. The bike, no matter where I've had a look, I've not seen really anything less than like 500 quid. Now this looks like a straight up reissue. Bearing in mind that Medicom don't make the best figures and bodies, particularly in 6 scale, and it is quite an old figure. You know, at least update it a bit.
I'm going to say, if it's a straight reissue of a 10-year-old figure, it's. I mean, well, it doesn't look anything to me. It looks a bit. Although the funny thing is, what I've just noticed, I've only just noticed it, and I should be offended by it. You got the Canon logo on the bike. That's who I work for, and I bet that's not licensed. I don't know if it had that, if it had Canon on in the actual. I suppose it did, maybe in the anime. And I'd be interested to know how they got away with that if it wasn't actually legit, because Canon are very, very very sensitive about their name being used on stuff without their permission or things they don't agree.
They must have had some kind of merchandising agreement.
Yeah. It's just fun. I just noticed that. Yeah.
But to me, it's like going back in time looking at that figure. It just looks so old-fashioned.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think
there's an updated version, not a problem. But if
they'd done a whole new version with cloth, clothing and stuff, it would probably look really good. But I don't know. I mean, you got to be proper diehard, and so we were saying that Dean was always saying that this is sort of a grail of his, but I think at the pricing he's just like, no, I'm not.
There doesn't seem to be any difference between the aftermarket price currently and the price.
They just priced it at the aftermarket price and gone, you can have it, but we're gonna charge you 500 quid for the bike.
So just to me, it just makes there's no point. You still can't get it.
No.
And then Daft Toys had their Killmonger, which they call the Leopard Agent, which they previewed. Not a massive fan of the head sculpts, but I very much like the rest of it.
Yeah, well, you were really pleased with that Bane set, weren't you? So they can do armor and military stuff really well.
The clothing, they are fantastic. I mean, they showed off their Joker from the Joker film, the clothing set for that on a body the other day, and I was like, that's. If I was to get a Joker, that's what I'd get.
Yeah, they seem to really be able to nail clothing, don't they? They've got.
Yeah. Well, I think they take the time to actually tailor it to a pretty standard body.
To a body, yeah.
So it looks really good on the standard cheapy bodies. And it's just I think they just take their time with it. So I've got no price on that yet, but loving that.
Yeah, and as Zach was saying, basically, if you want it, you buy it for the clothing, and then you pick up the nuts, pits, sculpt, which is amazing. Looks really good, and probably still wouldn't cost you that much. You still be coming in at under 200 quid, 150, 200 quid, and you'd have a really good figure.
See, I think Ryan's got the bank rubber joker. See, I was looking at that, but I've got the Hot Toys one. Otherwise, I would have upgraded. But that joke looks really good as well.
Doing some good stuff.
And then this is I'm really impressed with this. The iconic Studios Muhammad Ali bust, 50 quid. And this is 6 scale, 50 quid. At Q2 2021. So the head sculpt. The idea of this is that it's effectively a head sculpt. You get the bust with it, so you can display it. So on their website, it says there's going to be further projects further down the line that the head's going to be compatible with. So I'm guessing at some point there's going to be a Ali figure. But the head sculpt on this looks fantastic.
Yeah, because this is Iconic Studios, and that's kind of one of the guys that's quite active in the groups is one of the guys that sort of founded that company, and he teased a few bits. Andrew Andrew, what's his surname?
I think you read it right the first time. Aitchison.
It is Aitchison, Andrew Aitchison. Yeah,
so. I butcher everyone's name, so if you're listening, Andy, I'm sorry.
So he teased a few bits on our chat with Lee, which obviously we were all had to keep stum about. But we've got an idea about the sort of this. Maybe it's going to be like some iconic sportsmen, musicians, things like that. And from what I've seen of it, it looks really good. And I think there's a real focus on like quality of clothing and accessories, and the head sculpts look for this and the other one we were shown look really good, look amazing. So I'm really
one
to watch out for, I think.
And
I think Lee, and I think Lee's going to be a official UK supplier for their stuff as well.
That'd be really good.
Yeah, definitely.
So that was pretty much everything that we were shown off
figure wise.
So they like I said, they've been very, very busy. But we haven't had a chance to talk about all the TV, film, and games that we've been watching over Christmas and the run up before. And we've been spoiled, if I'm honest. There's been so much. So what we're going to do was pick one thing a week to talk about as our main kind of thing we've been watching. So this week we couldn't not. We had to talk about The Mandalorian and the Series 2 ending. Absolutely loved it. I was hooked from the moment, because like I've said a few times, I get up stupidly early on the Friday and I'd sit there and I'd watch it before I started work. And obviously working at home and stuff has its bonuses because I could watch it and then actually at the time I was going in, so I just said I'm going to be a bit late.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I'm going to be a bit late. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. I'm going to be a bit late. I'm watching.
I have something very important to do.
Yeah. And this was fantastic. I loved it. I liked.
Yeah.
I couldn't quite understand when I was watching it why Boba Fett fucked off. I was like, where the fuck are you going? Like,
yeah.
And then it made a lot of sense afterwards. But I was watching it and I remember sitting there and I'm thinking, how the fuck are they going to get out of this? And then it's like an X-Wing, a single X-Wing. It's like,
you're like, yes.
What? What?
Yeah.
What? What?
Yeah.
And then like my boy, he comes down and goes, what's going on? I'm like, shut up and sit down. And like, you see the hilt, you see the belt, you just see flash through it and you're like, I know exactly who that is, and I'm rock hard. This is amazing.
Yeah, it was brilliant because it had been speculated, and people had photoshopped some pictures of the Winter Soldier guy as
Sebastian.
Yeah. So it was kind of the ending we all wanted, and it was brilliant. Yeah. We actually got it. Absolutely loved it. I was like, oh, like a 10-year-old again, just like yes,
it was
amazing.
It's how we've wanted to see Luke for years, decades. That's the Luke we wanted all along. That's what we wanted. and we never quite got, and it's
No,
taken us long to get
it makes you sort of wish that they'd done a sequel trilogy back fairly soon after Return of the Jedi, and have Luke in his absolute prime.
The perfect
just
time
through.
The perfect time to do it would have been, instead of having the prequels, would have been then.
Yeah, I know.
That's the only time they would have ever gotten.
Yep. Yeah, so it's a missed opportunity. It's like that little glimpse of what it could have been.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There's stuff they can do with face imaging and stuff like that. But
yeah, what did you think of that? What did you think
I didn't think it was as bad as people.
I thought it was okay.
Saying. I didn't mind it. It looked odd because we're so used to seeing an older Luke.
Yeah. But it was nice to know that Hamill was actually on set and he did the.
I liked Mark Hamill's tweet, the one where he goes, he sends a tweet out. I think it was that afternoon, going, seen anything good on telly today?
Yeah, yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah,
fucking brilliant. But apparently, none of them on set knew what was happening until Mark Hamill turned up,
and they were like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah. So I was.
And then even better when R2 rolled around the corner, and they I love it.
Yeah, the whole thing was great. I mean, I liked the way that Moff Gideon knew he was going to get his ass kicked.
Yeah.
So just set them up.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
he was there to cause as much aggro as he could.
Yeah,
which showed him to be quite a devious little shitbag.
Yeah.
So that was good. I liked the way they just burst through the ship, and they just, I think he's like stop, and they just crashed the TIE fighter straight.
It was brilliant. Yeah,
it was a perfect way to end the season, like it really was. And what I'm quite glad that they didn't draw out Grogu.
Yeah. So they've drawn a line. That's done now. Yeah,
done, sorted. And what I'd like to see is him pop back up now and again.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I think the next series is going to be all about him trying to find the rest of his clan and trying to sort out the stuff with Bo-Katan. I'm really liking it, and I like the way that Ahsoka popped up and fucked off. You've got your own series now, so that'd be Thorn and that in that. So I'm liking that.
Yeah, it's quite nice. They're spreading them. They're splitting off. They're not trying to cram everything into this one show. And obviously, we've got the Book of Boba that's been teased as well now.
Yeah, it was great because it had finished. I'd gone off to make a cup of tea, and Dad was like, my boy was like, Daddy,
there's something else on. Yeah.
I was like, what? No, it can't be. He said, you've pressed something. He said, no. And I came back in. And I was like, fuck, rewind. Yeah. And then that's when I text you, like, right, if you haven't seen it, don't stop till the very end of the credits.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, Bib Fortuna's been eating a few of those frogs.
Yeah. I was like, you fat cunt.
It's hilarious.
It was fucking brilliant. It's just where it goes, I thought you were dead. Bang.
Yeah.
It's like, fucking fantastic. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Really.
I tell you what's weird. Because I watched them early in the morning, and then I'd watch them again with Mrs. and my boy, sort of probably on the Saturday. So we watched all of season 2, and they hadn't seen. I think they'd only seen the Jawa one of season 1, and they weren't that sort of enamored with it. So I didn't bother. But once they watched the whole second series, they wanted to go back. So we've been going back, and I swear there's an episode that I never saw. Which was number 5, the one where we meet the sniper lady. Definitely never seen it, so I must have just
one where
there's that young guy that they're going after her. There's a bounty on her head.
The
one that's with Boba Fett, and right at the end, Boba Fett turns up, or you see, you know now that it's Boba Fett, and I'd never seen it because Steve was availing us of them via the 7 Seas, and I was like, I don't think I watched this one. Don't know how I missed it, but I've definitely never seen it. Which was quite nice. So I had a bonus lost episode for me. Wasn't the best, but because they found do
you think?
I don't know. It's that thing. Like, is that technology good enough to sustain a lead character as a I don't think so. I think they can hold up for small scenes and stuff. But
I think you'll probably see him pop up in The Mandalorian, maybe Ahsoka.
Yeah.
But you probably won't get. It's like I said, it's too much. Unless they did find someone like Sebastian Stan who wants to do it.
Yeah. So I'd
who
be
looks
happy.
enough-
I'd be
yeah,
happy
who
if
looks
he
enough
wanted to
like
do it,
him.
but I think otherwise, and I think the cost would be massive to, that's not cheap, that kind of
No.
CGI and stuff. But yeah, so oh yeah, because they had because he rode a Jew back in that one. So I was like, no, I definitely haven't seen that. But yeah, that's good. So no, they're great series. Absolutely loved it. Yeah, brilliant. And it's kind of like, as we discussed a couple of shows ago, it's kind of led to this massive Star Wars resurgence, and we've got 5, 6, 7 new series, or maybe more, that they're teasing now, as well as all the Marvel stuff as well. So Disney Plus is on the up and up, and I think next month they get there. Is it called Star Plus? So you're going to get all the Fox like
stuff and that,
Die Hard and Aliens and all that stuff. So that's even better.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's going to make me want to keep. It's going to make me want to keep it because at the moment I watch it for the Star Wars stuff. I don't really watch it for too much of the Marvel stuff. But from tomorrow, I think we're going to start to get a lot more regular new content.
Yeah, I think it's good. Yeah, definitely, it's going to be worth its money if you love your Marvel. And I think separate the fact that we're saying we're sort of not collecting the Marvel figures. We're still big fans of the Marvel shows and the characters, and we'll be lapping up all this new content. So yeah, good. Disney Plus, like them.
Yeah, I'm liking it. And then over the Christmas period, Wonder Woman released.
Yeah,
Wonder Woman 84.
Yeah,
and we managed to get hold of a copy and watch it.
Yeah,
and I don't quite understand. Again, I don't get what all the hate for it is for.
Yeah,
I watched it from start to finish. Don't get me wrong, I don't think it's going to win an Oscar.
No,
but it wasn't the worst superhero film I've ever watched.
Well, no, definitely not. No,
I watched it. I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was that bad. The whole Power of Wishes thing is a little bit weird, but I mean, I've seen worse villains, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I had a few problems with it. I kind of watched it over 2 nights because I watched it with the missus, and it is 2.5 hours long. It's quite a lengthy one.
It's long.
I mean, I love her. She's a very beautiful lady. She's good fun. I actually didn't really like whatever his name is, Pedro. What's he?
Pascal?
Yeah. I've loved him in everything else. Like I love him in Mandalorian, and I'm a big fan of his in Narcos. But I found him really annoying in this, just because it's a bit of a very pantomime kind of hammy villain, isn't it? It's very
proper 80s.
Yeah, definitely. And he just doesn't look right without a moustache. Because everything else I've seen him, he's got a moustache.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And it doesn't really make any sense for the Mando to have a moustache. So I just figured that he just likes a moustache, and so whoever he plays, he has a moustache. But in that, he doesn't, and it doesn't look right. It's like there's something missing from his face.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, there's a few odd bits, but overall, it's pretty harmless. As you say, there's definitely been worse superhero films. There's a cool little cameo at the end.
Yes, I thought that was really good.
Yeah, that was cool. So it's not as it's a 7 out of 10 for me. I'm not clamoring to go back and watch it, but it didn't offend me.
No, it's not the worst film I've ever seen, and it's by far not the very best. But again, when we look at the response it got, I'm just sitting there looking at it going, okay, it's kind of disproportionate to me. There's been some utter dog shit that they put out before, but this is just What I find weird is the superhero stuff is when people go so unrealistic, or it just wouldn't happen. And we're talking about
like none of
Wonder.
Yeah.
She doesn't really have an invisible plane. That shit doesn't happen. So why are we picking holes in You know, it's just
It kind of does. It's funny because I was saying to Nick, I was like, she has an invisible plane in the comics, and then they kind of did a little sort of homage to that, didn't they, in one scene? But I think it's just odd in the fact that it kind of feels, obviously this was meant to come out in the summer, and it just feels it's difficult to see where it sort of fits in, because there aren't anything else like really. That team is gone, isn't it? That Justice League team, because Affleck's not playing.
No, he's signed back up, isn't he?
Oh, has he? What, for the not for the multiverse stuff, but the actual proper
Batman sort of film?
Apparently. Really? Okay.
So apparently he's back, but I think a lot of that's because of the Snyder Cut.
Yeah,
because if you think about it, they weren't really. There were rumors they weren't going to carry on with the Flash film, but they're carrying on with that.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't think we've quite seen the back of him.
Well, that makes more sense then if they've got more to come. But I mean, because of course they've got the Batman, haven't they? With Patterson, yeah. So it's odd that they're then going to have, you know, two different Batmen in the kind of like the premiere sort of films. But
to be fair, when you look at DC, they are all about the multiverse.
Yeah.
When you think about the comics, how many different versions of Batman comics are there out at once? Like, I don't find it that weird.
Yeah.
I think if they establish the multiverse in at least one of the films, which they will do with the Flash, you're laughing. You can have as many Batman films.
Yeah, and if they're all good, then not a problem, is it?
I mean, when you look at because I really used to enjoy the animated films, and they don't really make that many of them.
Yeah, they're really good ones I've seen. Yeah,
and they bang on about the multiverse all the time, and that really helps because you can have some quite big differences in a lot of them. But yeah, I think if
there's
they
a lot of weird,
do what you like.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird shit goes on in DC, like those Lazarus pits and stuff.
I much prefer DC to Marvel. It's a lot darker. There's a lot more going on.
I mean, I always come back to Batman, Superman. Like Marvel's had its thing, and I got into Marvel and I had the things. But when I think about the superheroes that I grew up with and the ones that I most enjoy reading the comics and seeing the films, is Batman and Superman. You know, they are, they're the ones, like that.
For me, like I say, it's Batman, Superman. I mean, I was lucky because when I grew up, there was some really good cartoons on. So I grew up with the animated Batman. Was brilliant. Yeah, I grew up with the animated Batman. I grew up with the animated Superman, the Justice League cartoons, the X-Men. You know, all that.
And then you
stuff.
had the Batman animated series.
Yeah, so I had a real nice mix of stuff. Spider-Man, the animated series. You know, I had a nice mix of stuff. But I always find myself going back to DC, and a lot of that for me is because of Batman. Like, he is my favorite superhero. And for me, with Batman, it's not so much the character Batman; it's that whole universe, those comics, those cartoons. The villains are great. The character design and those are fantastic. You want a decent villain. DC does a decent villain.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's what makes it a little bit kind of awkward.
Makes me really glad that I didn't sell my Batman Returns figure, which I was toying with.
Yes,
perfect for the with the Batmobile. But Batman, Batman for me, and I absolutely love the like the Burton Batman movies. That to me is they're not perfect movies, but that is the perfect embodiment of Batman for me.
I was really disappointed because I had the '89 Batman, and it was pretty much just a statue, and it didn't really do much of anything. I got rid of it. But the Returns Batman, I like. Out of the two, I think I prefer the Returns.
Much prefer it. I like that they kind of, because I think the Hot Toys one got the '89 Batman perfect. It's a perfect representation of what was on set, but that was a bit rough and ready, and they really perfected the suit more in the second one. So there's cleaner lines. I quite like the armored torso rather than the the muscle suit thing.
Yeah.
The capes are rubbish on both, but you get yourself a Jackson U cape, and it absolutely transforms it. And they are a statue figure. I mean, you have them standing with most of the figure covered by the cape. But if you've got one of those,
then again,
capes,
most Batman, you're not really. I don't see that many of them in wild poses.
No.
They're all.
No.
I mean, my favourite Batman that I keep going back to is my armored Batman.
Yeah.
I just can't get enough of it. I just think it looks so
it's a great figure, yeah. Yeah.
And then it's probably my Arkham Batman, and then my Dark Knight Batman, and then my BVS Batman.
There's a lot of great Batman figures out there. There's a lot to choose from. You can't go wrong with most of them. Even the sideshow ones are good. Some of those. So
I'll tell you what, the blue one they do. The body on that's fantastic. Everyone kept buying them up years ago to do custom ones.
Yeah. I had that one at one point. Yeah, and it was really good.
I had that.
Head sculpt wasn't great, but there were a lot of options to get custom ones for it. And
big time.
Yeah. Oh, this is interesting.
Yes, yeah. So we got shown with this. Was it today that this came
out? A couple of days ago. Yeah, it might have been yesterday or the day before. Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks like we're
January 12th. Yeah, 2 days ago.
Yeah, there we go. Looks like we're going to get an Indiana Jones game by
Bethesda. Yeah.
So if I'm right, they've been bought by Microsoft.
They have. So there's people saying with this being exclusive, probably for the first year, something like that. That's what they did with the Tomb Raiders.
No, it will just be Xbox. If Microsoft own the studio,
right?
They will not release that on any other console. It will come out on PC probably, but it won't come out on any other console. It's the same as that's why it'd be like Halo. You won't ever see
Halo or Forza.
PC.
Yeah.
So, and this is what I was saying a little while ago: is they've gone round and they bought up a load of studios and they bought out. Because these guys do Elder Scrolls and stuff like that, so
and they did Skyrim, didn't they?
Yeah. So you just won't see any of those games on anything other than an Xbox.
Yeah, no, it's great because I've always wanted a great indie game, and I loved the point and click Lucasfilm ones in the early 90s. Loved those, and that was to me was like put hours into those. And there were some action ones as well, but they were never quite as good. And then they did I think it was one, what platform was it on? Was it GameCube or something? It was like a Tomb Raider-esque one, but it wasn't very well done.
Yes, I know the one. Yeah, it was shit.
It was shit, yeah. And really, Tomb Raider was like, if you put a indie skin on Tomb Raider, then you had an indie game, really. And I think that's what everybody's always...
I always thought that about the Uncharted games.
Yeah, Uncharted as well.
They were always, to me, the closest we were ever going to get
to a modernized, modern day version. So I've always, and everyone's always said, if Naughty Dog did one, it'd be absolutely brilliant. I'd absolutely love one. So I'm excited for this. I might have to buy a new console for it, I suppose, if it becomes a what do they call it? Xbox X series is the new
the
Cube, isn't it? So and I'm not saying, there'll probably come a point where I would be looking at picking up one or the other of the new consoles, and something like this, if it turned out to be really good, then that might pull me in. But,
that would swing it.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, as you know, I don't mind a bit of indie.
I'd be up for that as well, definitely.
And I suppose if they coincide it with the fifth film as well, then that'll all tie up nicely, and the hype will get.
As long as it isn't a game of the fifth film.
Oh no! I don't think it will be. But
I'm fucking annoyed.
No, definitely not. No, we don't want that. But I think to just tie them in and trying to build on that sort of momentum and anticipation would be good.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I like it.
Definitely. Yeah, and then so over the Christmas period, I've been pissing about with bits and pieces, and like I said, I fucked about my Django. and that's turning out to be a fucking nightmare. Purely because I've got some chrome spray, and you have to let it dry for fucking ages.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what you were doing with it. You said you'd fucked it up, and I was like, oh, not quite sure what you were doing. So you were respraying it.
Yeah, so I've got some up here that I need to strip back because I've gone a bit too heavy on it. But so that is effective. I don't know if you can see, but that's the kind of finish I'm going for.
Okay, yep.
I need to strip it back and start again because the problem is Sideshow stuff has these little pegs on it that go in through the jacket, thing, and peg on something the other side. I'm just using the hot glue gun, putting some glue on the bottom, which kind of works. Isn't too bad.
Did you put your Mando body on it, or was that your Boba Fett?
Boba Fett. So I put the Mando body on Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Which has come out really well.
Yeah.
And then I put that old body on Django.
Okay, it's cool. So you kind of got 3 body upgrades for, with the Mando as well. But,
so I've had to do a lot of dremeling and messing about.
Yeah.
But in the end, I just chucked the poncho on Django, and actually, I kind of like it with the poncho on. I might just keep it like that, and I'll finish that off and fuck about with it at some point. So I did that. Then I had another sculptor printed, which is the Vader with the blasted eye. I actually did for someone else I posted off the other day. One exactly the same as this, but the blast is on the other side, and it's like that Clone Wars episode. Rebels episode, where it's more of a diamond type cut. You see more of the face. But the problem I've got at the moment is I have broke my printer. It's knackered. I went to print a quarter scale sculpt the other day, one of the Sebastian Shaw ones. And now I'm printing with black resin at the moment because I generally buy whatever I can get my hands on, and black resin because I like a brand called Photon. I couldn't get any of that in grey, but they had it in black. Black's a bastard to print with, not because it's any more difficult than anything else. It's purely because it's very hard to see. Yeah. So when it's been pulled out of the vat, it's very hard to see if it's failed until you've got enough of it out for you to be able to have a look. By the time you've got enough of it out, you're looking at, say, 6 hours into the print. So I've done, I did stuff like this in quarter scale in black, which is the big battle damaged Vader sculpt. And that came out absolutely fine, not a problem, happy days. When I went to do the other one, after about 6 hours, I've come down because I've been working at home. So I came downstairs and went, let's have a look at this then. The fuck, there's nothing on the build plate. What the fuck's sake. So took it out, drained the resin. I'm sure as anything, there's a perfect outline of a head on the bottom of my FEP, which is the clear plastic bit at the bottom of the vat.
Right. Okay.
Fuck. So scraped that off, stuck another one on, start again after 2-3 hours, paused it, raised the head. Fuck's sake, done it again. Then I noticed that actually when I turned the printer on, the head would raise, start to make some weird grinding noise. I'd turn it off, turn it back on, lower it down by like 10 mil, then tell it to print, and it would come down and apparently start to print. I did that without the vat in, and it was actually sitting 10 mil off the bottom of the FEP. So all it was doing was making an outline of something, shining light at it, and it was just building up on the FEP.
Right.
I was like, fuck's sake. And then all of a sudden, so what you do when you first get a printer is you level the bed. So I went to level the bed again. You hit the home button, and what that's meant to do is lower the bed. So it effectively you put a piece of paper on the screen with no FEP in, it lowers down, you tighten up the screws, and that's your bed level and take the paper out. Now, what it would do, instead of it lowering, it would just keep going up and up and up. None of the down buttons started working. So I was like, fuck's sake. Stuck a post up on a couple of printing groups. Does anyone know what this might be? Someone came back and said it could be this optical sensor. Reached out to Creality because I've only had the printer since September. They've not come back with anything yet, but I knew they probably wouldn't come back with anything for a while because of they've got not the best customer services. And the thing is, it's annoying because I pay via PayPal, but there's nothing I can really do because I'm out of the 30-day type thing. so I just got to wait and see what they come back with. So I can't print anything at the moment. So I can't even print any more of these heads out.
Yeah, it's a bit annoying because you've been loving that thing and churning stuff out, and
honestly, and all it's done is strengthened my argument for having more than one printer.
Yeah.
So if one goes down, I've got a spare.
Yeah.
So yeah, if it's not sorted, I will have to just bite the bullet, and when I get paid, just pick up a new one. Maybe a different brand. I'll look into the customer service side of it a bit more. So yeah, it's pissed me off, St. Chronic. But yeah, so I was printing bits and pieces all the way through Christmas.
Yeah,
I've got I'm doing for Dean Gladwell the Looney Tunes. Yeah, well,
yes,
But I'm also doing the Who Framed Roger Rabbit bullets for him. So I've got those on the shelf ready to paint.
Cool. So he's got like a 1-to-1 scale pistol, has he? And then they're
someone's printed in one of them on a FDM.
Cool.
So he's going to send me that at some point. He's also got the gun that Johnny Silverhand uses that he's sending me to paint.
Okay.
He's had printed. So yeah, he's sending me a fair bit to crack on with. But yeah, and then I did. So I've got a load of Patreon stuff that I'm working my way through painting, and I've got a load of stuff that Sean sent me that I'm painting. And the Rex was one that I've painted. So I've got that to do. Plus, there's the angry version, and I just really enjoy painting the animated stuff.
Yeah, it looks really good. Looks great. It's straight off the screen.
Yeah, cheers. So I'm hoping I can crack a few more of them out because I've got Savage Oppressed there and a few others that I want to get done. I've got a few malls, a few different versions of malls. So what I've done is I've grouped them together and said, right, when I start one, I'll start the lot because malls, a realistic one or a cartoon one, it's exactly the same. It's black and red. No shading, hardly anything.
No.
So they're going to be malls, they come out really well, but they are so boring to paint.
Yeah, I know when you kind of almost regretted offering out the repaint of the Hot Toys one because you got so many of them, and that's all you were doing for like weeks.
I did my ones, and then instantly got barrages of messages asking, "Can you do them?" And I must have done about 8 or 9 of those.
Yeah,
just give me something else. It's like at the moment. The next thing I want to paint. So I painted a sculpt for someone, and they were like, "Oh, I was expecting a bit more detail out of it." And I'm like, "The sculpt you sent me, no, I printed it for him, but it was someone had sculpted and done." I'm like, if the detail's there, I can bring it out. If it isn't, then you're, one of my big pet peeves is I hate it when sculptors put they put a dot in the eye.
Yeah,
so what they do is they put a hole, and now it works really well for 1/12. For 1/6, it's a pain in the ass because you have to try and fill that in with paint, and the eye never quite looks good. So I've got that going on. So I've got one sitting there. I need to work on some more. But the guy sent me a picture of a completely different sculpt. Went, I want it looking like that, and I'm like. That's not the same sculpt. That's got a lot more going on. So it's by the bar. I've got that to work on next. I need to make a priority. I want the next thing I want to paint after that, just as a bit of a palette cleanser, because I've been doing a lot of armors, a lot of weapons, a lot of that kind of stuff, and a lot of animated and very flat, clean edges, that kind of stuff. The next thing I want to try and do, and it might mean I might have to jump someone ahead of the queue just so I've got something as a bit of a palette cleanser. It's just something, a more realistic looking sculpt. So I just as a
Marion Silverwood.
I'll tell you what, I'll give Marion a go next. I'll do Marion.
Yay, top man.
I'll do that. I'll get this other one out there and I'll do Marion for you. But yeah, just something something to break it up a bit. Because I've got this. I said I paint for my dad.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask you. You still didn't get to it.
No, still haven't got to it. It's still sitting there. And that print came out really well. I'm really looking forward to painting it.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing. I want my printer so I can print shit like that. I like doing stuff like that. So yeah, and I've got a load of Ahsokas there I need to do, and I've got quite a bit, and I'm quite happy. I sound like a dick moaning about it, but I've got quite a lot to crack on with, and I'm quite looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Like I'm off tomorrow because I work Sunday, so I might see if I can just sit quietly in the corner upstairs while my missus does the homeschooling and see if I can just get a few hours in.
Yeah,
which would be good. But yeah,
you won't get lumped with all the homeschooling then because you're not working.
No. I mean, I've got to do a bit of shopping and that, and I'm hoping I can get away with it. So fingers crossed.
I just have to do the maths, so I get away quite lightly.
Yeah, I mean, we're quite lucky because my missus, she's been furloughed and I'm working.
Right.
She does the homeschooling.
Yeah.
And I've been working, so it's worked out okay. But I need to have a sort out of all my bits and pieces because I've got loads of these post rifles that I printed out. I've got loads of Mando knives that I printed out.
Yeah.
I've got loads of Beskar that I printed out. I've got all these bits.
The leg armor, yeah.
Well, the thing is, with printing one of something and printing 10 of something, if they all fit on your build plate, the time is there's hardly an increase in time.
Yeah, and it's a much better use of the resources.
Yeah. So when people send me a head to print and paint, I always print 2 just in case one fucks
fit
up.
them on. Yeah,
because it doesn't take any time to print 2 as opposed to 1. It's exactly the same.
And then you've got, if they both come out fine, you've got another one that you can sell on then, so you can.
I just sort of stick it in a drawer, and then eventually, because what tends to happen is always some people go, "Oh, that sculpt you did, can you do me another one?" Yep, fantastic. So I've already got one in the drawer. Just get it out and paint it.
Yeah.
And plus, like, sometimes you just want a sculpt to practice on. You want to try something new, so I can just use that. But yeah, so I've been busy. But it's weird. I always feel like I'm miles behind, and I know I've got stuff that I've got that people have sent me a while ago. But
it's a double-edged sword, I suppose. You want the stuff, but then sometimes it can feel a bit overwhelming, I suppose. But yeah, so anyway, while we're on custom car, I haven't got a slide for this, but I thought I'd. There's the Jazzink dioramas Falcon cockpit. Yoast sent out the first batch since they've had to make some changes. They had to make some changes to the packaging, and they had to make a few. They had to get I think it was the canopy. They had to have that re-engineered because the few that got shipped out in the first batch, there were some cracks in that piece. So I think they went out very late December, early Jan. I mean, mine's not due, I think, till April because it's been done in a very strict, first come first serve kind of basis. So there's been a few videos, been quite a lot of pictures and videos on Facebook from sort of people well known in the industry, and they've all been in the industry in the groups, and they've been mostly very complimentary, saying they're brilliant. There's been some issues with the power supply, I think mostly in the States, and Yoast's trying to sort that out for later batches. But basically, it means you just have people have been buying a £10 transformer from Amazon. It's solved that. There's some people saying that it's a little bit too grey in its exterior. They want it to be more sort of an off-white. I can live with that. But yeah, there's a video that I watched today, and basically this guy's just kind of like,
it's the Denobi one, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's very negative. He's kind of, it's difficult because you can look at it 2 ways. He's saying that it's a high-end, high-price custom piece, so it should be perfect. But I kind of see that in a way, but I also see the fact that this is the only way you're going to get this, unless you can scratch build one yourself. Hot Toys are never going to make one, and he makes a lot of comparisons to Hot Toys. Yoast does not have Hot Toys money, resources, factories, stuff like that. So yeah, it would have been great if Hot Toys had done it. It would have been cheaper, would have been better, but that's not happening. So there's a few things that I can see that a legitimate kind of issues that people have got, but they're not insurmountable. And then there's other things that he just felt like he was kind of like really picking holes in it. There's some visible screws, and the most notable, there's 2 on the front of the cockpit, so on the round at the front, and I think that's purely because that's where they were getting stress fractures originally. So they've had to. So to my mind, and I know it's very different because we do a lot of customizing. We're quite happy with that what we take out of the box isn't the finished product, if you like, and you have to sometimes add that extra, that final 5% yourself. So for me, I'll just fill those. I'll fill those screw holes, and I'll paint over and I'll blend it in. There's also, if you take the canopy off, you can see screw holes underneath. Well, you're never going to see those because you've got the canopy on. You don't see them. You're not going to display the canopy on its own upside down. Right. So that's a moot point to me. Fair enough. There's some issues about paint. And I don't know. I'm not sure quite how they do the paint, but I think it's painted by Yoast or a family member, his sons or whatever. And all right, there might be the odd paint run or something that looks a little bit, but again, I don't care because I'll touch that up myself. If I'm really not happy with the outer hull, then I can repaint that. So I'm kind of seeing it as more of a little project. It's 90% there. And I will do a few tweaks and bits and pieces. They said, there should be lights here. It's already got like 300 lights in it.
I must admit that someone posted on Juiced's page, didn't they? And he put a post saying, it's the central column or something should have more lights. And everyone's like, are you fucking taking the piss? Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And I think he was on there and he was like, because some people just gonna look, mate, the amount of effort that goes into making these, like, you would never get this ever if it wasn't for them.
No.
Just be grateful with what you've got.
Exactly. That's my view. And
and I think Eust came on and he was like, yeah, thanks. He said sometimes it's really disheartening to see this type of stuff when you spend such a long time doing. He doesn't do it for profit.
That's the thing. And I think, all right, it's not, it's a lot of money, but then there's a heck of a lot of R&D have gone into designing all of that and obviously getting all the parts made and everything. And I think, to my mind, I don't mind doing a bit of a little bit of finishing on it. It's not asking for, it's not a massive. Anyone can stick a bit of filler in a hole and sand it off and match a bit of paint. I mean, it's a weathered sort of surface anyway, so you haven't got to get an exact match and blend it in.
Personally, I don't mind the holes. I've seen pictures of it, and it's not. The thing's so awesome that I can forgive.
Yeah, you're not going to just sit and look at them and go, "Oh, that fucking screw." No, you're going to be looking, and once they get the figures in, it's just like it's amazing. And they're saying, "Oh, the floor's not right" and everything, but you're not looking at the floor anyway. I don't care if it's right or not. I can't even be bothered to check.
The DeLorean floor, is that accurate in the slightest?
No.
Not in the slightest.
But it's designed to have figures in, and when you've got 4 or 5 figures in there, you're not actually seeing a lot of the seats or the floor or this bit and this bit. It's the overall.
I feel really sorry for him because people expect him to be able to work miracles. They demand stuff of him all the time. And then, when he does put stuff out, you've got people moaning and complaining. And you've got to remember, he's not a company. He's not a company with a huge R&D department, with a huge factory. It's him and his family. So when they put, because some of the Justice Mobiles, I think some of the doors were too heavy and the clips were plastic and broke.
Yep.
So he's sending out metal replacement clips. There's some stuff that no matter how much testing he does at home, until they're released out into the real world, some of these issues you're not going to find out. He's not going to know about, and he does his best to fix them once they're out.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Like I said, I haven't seen the review, so I don't. I can't say firsthand how much moaning there is and how much is unfounded.
A lot.
Yeah.
The door's not sliding. The Hot Toys one would have slid into the recess.
I find it ridiculous when people. Right, first of all, Hot Toys are not the be all and end all.
No,
they're a very good company and very good at what they do, but they fuck up a lot. Okay, you can't compare someone like Yoast with Hot Toys. It just doesn't happen. They're not on the same level. They don't have.
Stevie, good evening.
Hello. They're not on the same level. They don't have the same resources. To compare the two isn't right.
It's unfair. You can't really compare it to a product that is actually never going to exist.
No, exactly. You can't. It's make believe.
Yeah, they teased it. They've never built it. They're never going to build it, and so you don't even know, even if it got into production, whether it would have been anywhere near as good as what they showed anyway.
Yeah. And the thing is, it makes it sound like it's a terrible piece of kit. It's not. It's worth every penny.
Oh, I think it's beautiful.
The craftsmanship has gone into it. It's a fantastic piece of kit. No one is going to come into your house and look at it and go, "What's a piece of shit? What are these screw holes at the front?"
Of course, they're going to be like, "Wow, really?"
Yeah,
exactly. And as you say, Yoast is fantastic. Like if something turns up broken, then you'll get a replacement bit for it. He's not trying to mess you about or anything. As you say,
we've had him on plenty of times. You get the talking to him. You get the distinct impression he's doing it because he loves to do it.
Yeah, and because he likes to see for his collections as well. And I mean, I'd love to get some of the other Falcon stuff, but I don't think I can, like the cargo hold and things like that. But I haven't got the space for it, and because someone was selling the cargo hold,
so it's like 500 or something like that.
Yeah. But it was big. It was bought by this woman that's like, "Oh, I'm buying some stuff for my son." Thinking, God, how much money? I never got sort of £500-600 spent on my birthday, and then it was up for sale again a couple of days later because. Oh well, I've already bought him like the Jabba with the Dias and these and that. I'm like, fuck, he's a lucky boy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, I was on Juice website, and I noticed he's still got a couple of those wall displays that screw to the wall. And he's got the I think it was the Star Destroyer bridge and stuff like that. And I was thinking. That could be perfect, actually, because I could get some more figures in by just having them on this wall here.
Yeah.
But I was like, I shouldn't, and I can't because it's too much money. I'm skint at the moment.
Yeah.
But he does. He's done some really good stuff over the years. It's just,
no, I'm not in the least bit worried by that video.
No,
I was quite annoyed with it really because as long as mine turns up intact.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think. You can't say because of its use, we're just going to ignore any bad thing.
No, not at all.
But if you're making a review, it's got to be well rounded, and you can't compare it to something that doesn't exist.
No.
There's nothing else like this. So
exactly,
you can't say, well, the Hot Toys one would have done this. How do you know?
Yeah, as I say, unless you got the skills to scratch build your own one, and I've seen people that scratch build their own ones, and they are amazing. But I don't have the skill to do that. You're talking about if you're not 3D printing it, then you're carving that from, and you're casting it and all that kind of thing, and that would run into thousands and thousands. So this is the only chance you're going to get, I think, to have this. So put up with the fact that it's not perfect, but to me, it looks amazing. I can't wait to get mine. Ian's got one coming. Ian Seaby's got one coming as well. I'm not sure what batch he's in, but he was chatting to me earlier on Messenger about whether I'm going to sort of fill in the holes and stuff. I probably will do the two on the front, but that'll be it. I won't bother doing the canopy ones that you will never see anyway. I was very tempted with the land speeder. Yeah,
I was. I must admit, I didn't have any New Hope figures at the time, but even I was tempted.
That's the problem, though. Then you go like, right, if I buy that, I've got to get a Luke, I've got to get a Ben, so it rapidly becomes a very expensive piece, doesn't it? But
I've got his throne for my
yes,
my
yeah.
Emperor. It's fantastic. In fact, I've got Dean's doing me some background. So
Okay.
the top 3 of my cubes are all going to be Star Wars. So the middle one's going to be the throne room. So I'll have a massive like Death Star window.
Yeah.
Back there with the throne in there and a few other bits, and then the other 2 either side of it are going to be those Death Star corridor ones he does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nice. Because they're fairly sort of nice generic look.
I can get away with having even some of the Rebels and some of the
definitely.
and having kind of the Return of the Jedi stuff just above me, which would be quite cool.
Yeah, cool.
So, that's the
plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, look. If I guess if I get rid of my land speeder and all effort, but it's the shipping from the States that'll kill any deal.
You say that, but you'll do it.
No. I mean, because I said how much I want a snow speeder. I know that's in production now, but no, the cockpit, because of the size of it and everything, and obviously the prices involved here, that will be my one and only Yoast piece. But to me, that is a Grail piece for me.
I'm holding out for the conversion kit for the DeLorean.
Oh yeah, see, I'd be interested in that now. Obviously, I had no one in that fight before, but now I own a DeLorean, then I will definitely be picking that up.
He has a DeLorean. He bought one specifically.
He has got one. Yeah. Well, you've got a second on that now, mate. So I'll definitely be up for that.
Yeah. Here, Quinn says, but your money is twice as ours. Yeah. It's the tax though. The whole tax thing is reared its head over here.
But have you noticed that like shipping from the States to here is ridiculous? I mean, it's not cheap to send this way. But when I've talked to Zach about, if you bought this figure, could you ship it? And I don't know why, but it is the shipping from the US to the UK is extortionate. It's really high. Yeah, because it is a deal killer, definitely.
So I always use like DHL or someone, and they normally quote me, and this is like fully insured for like heads and stuff I paint. It's normally about 35, 40 quid.
Yeah, when we sent Zach that Indy, that was only 32 quid, I think. And that was there in 2 days and like fully insured and everything.
I think if you go Royal Mail, it takes fucking forever. And they don't really insure for most. But yeah, DHL and FedEx and all that are normally pretty good. And they didn't break the bank like they used to.
No.
But yeah. And I guess it's that time again.
Where
we thank Mr. Watto for all the wonderful things he does.
Talks about he's been featured quite well this episode. We've talked about a lot.
Yes,
different options for figures and that. So hopefully you'll do well out of this one. Yeah,
I think it just goes to show how good he is, because let's be honest, even if he wasn't our sponsor, we would still be plugging.
Exactly. Of course we would, because there's all so many options for characters that are never going to be made commercially available.
Like I said, he's animated stuff is like it's been ripped straight from the cartoon.
It's
absolutely, absolutely love it. And when Mando was on, it's insane. It was the episode Friday would drop, and then by kind of the afternoon,
I know, amazing. Yes,
insane. So if you will need anything done, he's definitely the man to talk to.
A real game changer, definitely in the Star Wars world.
Big time.
Yeah,
big time.
So we're take this opportunity to thank our Patreon sponsors. We'll run through the names. So we've got Ben Porter, Griffin Campbell, Sean Fear, Ian Seaby, who's in the chat, Brenny Mendes, Eric Mariscal, Quinn Aguirre, Lima Hernandez, we're supposed to say because that's funny. King Louis, Mark Pearson, Dan Lee, also in the chat, Deanie Martin, Stephen Crett, Jason Nelson, Big Fern, King Zaki the Fifth, Caesar Mariquin, Eddie Mendez in the chat too. Thanks, guys. Eric Ruiz, Mario Cortez, Stephen Purchase, Sean Yahtzee, Scott Bradley, Jesse Contreras, Stephen Maria Stanley, Lord Volditor, and the newest member, Eddie Manzanares. Thank you very much. No, honestly, guys, your support means a lot. It helps us to keep the network going, upgrading equipment, paying for the StreamYard, and the lovely stickers that you'll get as members. So the base membership is Sweet Angel, and you will get a sticker sent straight to your door every month, as well as access to Ox After Dark replay. So if you're not able to catch it live, which is more of an issue if you're not based in the States, because it would be very, very early in the morning, that's worth having. Certified Crispy is the middle tier, so that is Crispy certified Crispy certificate on first pledge signed by Zach and Dean. Assistance with figure fixes by Zach, and obviously the sticker every month. Normally a couple of stickers. I'll show you January's ones in a minute. And then the newest tier, What a Guy, which I think we've got at least one person in there now. They will get the Sign Collecting Weekly live poster, the ones that you see on Zach's wall of him and Dean, like the silhouette ones. Doubles of all the stickers, so you can send them to your friends and get our membership up, get some more listeners in, it'd be good. And your good self in will paint one sculpt a year for members of the What a Guy tier. They will be responsible for, you've got to be in it for 3 months, and you'll be responsible for shipping to and from Ian and any customs charges that may be incurred.
Yes.
So for January, we have I love this one, the fuck that guy magnet. It's become quite
my favorite so far.
I love it. I use it all the time. So that's a good one. And the third party police window cling. So yeah, looking forward to you got some stuff that you got for Chris. So yeah, just send it out when you've done the head sculpt. But yeah, there's some really cool stuff. To be honest, I don't really want to. I've got them all in like a box because I don't really sort of not going to stick them all around. But I like having them. There's some really good.
So
good
I've
stuff.
got underneath my DeLorean is an old IKEA like box that's the exact size of the stand of the display case.
Okay.
And I sprayed it all black. And then I just started sticking the stickers we get.
Yeah.
My missus hates it. She's like, "Oh, it's a bloody teenager's room." Like,
yeah. Stickers on the wall. And
it's
stuff.
my area. I'm putting fucking stickers on it, and then I've got them on the back of like on my iPad.
Yeah, I could put some on the MacBook, I suppose. Yeah.
So the Dog's Bollocks one, which Zach hates.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. It all goes on the back of that.
That was our very first one, wasn't it? That one.
It was our very, very first sticker.
It's probably quite a collector's piece now.
Yeah, and Zach hates it. Absolutely hates it, and it just makes me love it a little bit more.
Oh, definitely. Anything that winds Zach up is
it's perfect.
It's good in our book. Yeah. So
big sticker.
Eddie's our What a Guy member. I think so.
The OG
yeah.
What a Guy.
And then and then there's the rest of our network. So we've got Small Talk, which is Dylan and different guest stars at the moment while he's sort of running that on his own. Great show. I like that one because I like Dylan says that we got it quite easy because 1/6 scale. Although there's a lot of stuff and there's quite a lot of companies, it's a manageable amount. Whereas if you go smaller scale, there are just thousands of things coming out every week. So he's got much more of a job of kind of like really drilling into what he likes, what he thinks other people will be interested in.
Do not envy him in the slightest. No. Like, fuck that for a laugh.
And then when you see his show sheet, it's like I was really impressed, but I can see why he needs to have that sort of detail and control on it, because otherwise you could have a 6-hour show every week.
Fuck it, mate. I mean, our show sheet's like a page long when there's like a shit ton of stuff, but this is like, it's insane.
Yeah,
I listen to him a fair bit, and there's just so much stuff.
It's a great show. And Dylan's a great guy. He makes me laugh. He's very, very, very dry, very deadpan. Probably a more British sense of humour, maybe than
Yeah.
yeah. And then we've got the main show, Collecting Weekly Live with Zach and Dean. Then you got ourselves, OFAC, Only Fools and Collecting. And then we've got Oxyon, which is the Collecting Weekly kind of run figure auction. I think they're going to look at doing one next month or March. So you get some good deals on figures there. Joy of Hobbing is Zach tinkering around in his workshop doing a bit of painting or a bit of modding to stuff. We've got Collecting Rarities, which is Rainer's show. Talks about sort of non-figure collecting. He talks about lightsabers. I think they do trainers, and Zach talks about watches and stuff. So we've all got odd little bits and pieces that we collect that aren't figure based. So that's quite interesting.
That kind of stuff.
Human teeth, yeah. Earlobes, I like. Strung on a necklace.
The old labia.
Yeah. Creeps Are Us, which is Manny's horror themed show. Collecting comics, which I find that one really interesting. I've got a few to catch up on, but because I do like. I never really kind of done comics as such, because I prefer to buy them when they're collected together as a graphic novel, because otherwise,
yeah, me too.
You buy a comic and you've like read it in about 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. I don't have the patience.
No, I haven't got the patience to wait. I'd rather read it all at the end. And
when it comes out as a hardback graphic novel.
Yeah. And I've got tons of those. So I do love comics, but as I say, I've never really done them, apart from when I was a kid and I was getting like the Eagle or Beano and stuff like that. Yeah, which wasn't like ongoing stories, so it wasn't so much of an issue. That's good. That enjoy that fun. And then you got After Dark, which is the sexy time version of Collecting Weekly.
I've probably seen like 2 After Darks, and that's about it. Just because I never get around to watching them while they're still live.
Yeah, as I say, it disappears, doesn't it? But you need to. It works on mine. Zach did something, whether he added me into the admin or something, so you just need to sort that out. But they're good. They're interesting. They tried to talk about things other than figures, but obviously, you can't help but have the figures creep in, as that's kind of like our main thing. But After Dark's good fun, and a new show, which is I think they're working on the first episode now. I think they said they may be pre-recorded for the first few before they decide to go live. But that's a couple of the guys, some of our Patreon members. I think Dan Lee might be involved with that. Eddie, I think. Very cool. That'll be interesting. Another different spin on collecting. So there's a strong network. We've got some good shows there, some good guys. Plenty to listen to.
Loads going on, which is handy.
Yeah. And that is it for this week, episode 34.
Yeah, I know. It is, we've done a fair few now.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. I mean, what we on? 34, so yeah.
34.
Yeah. So for the first episode of the year, it's not gone too bad.
No.
And for once, we're done by about 11 o'clock.
Yeah, just over 2 hours. That's pretty good for us.
Here we go. In and out is Mario, Eddie, and Danny.
Yeah, cool. Looking forward to that. That'd be good.
Yeah. I must admit, I've been caning podcasts for ages now, and I get into a routine of when certain ones drop and when I'm going to listen to them. Yeah. So I could always do with more crap to listen to.
Yeah, definitely.
Although you're never going to believe what I did. Don't know if you can see that. I sliced my hand open on a headphone cable when I was pulling out.
What?
I pulled up to work and my headphones. I was listening to a podcast. I think I was listening to Zach and Dean, so it's their fault. And it started skipping, jittering about, and fuck's sake! So I got over the cable, went to yank it out my phone, and it didn't come out my phone, but my hand went up the headphone cable. Right. I was like, "Fuck, that hurt. That must have burnt." When I look down at my finger, I've got this fucking great cut across my fingers where the sheath around the cabling has gone with my hand, and I've
Right,
effectively
and
got the bare cable underneath.
bare
and just
wires.
gone, yeah, I was like,
So that's an X pair of headphones as well.
but they still work.
Do
But
they?
yeah, I can't, yeah, I was like, fuck.
Because normally, if you catch them like that, they just rip straight out of the earpiece. I find.
No, these were hard bastards, and just sliced my hand
definitely.
off.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Like-
brilliant, fucking brilliant. That's exactly, you need that, like a hole in the bollock.
No, definitely.
But yeah, so I guess there's no point us hanging about, just whittling on for a bit,
No.
boring these poor people. So thank you very, very much, and we will see you in a fortnight's time.
Yeah, brilliant. Take care, everyone.
Enjoy. See you later.
Bye.
Shalom.